Welcome to Riga, capital of the Republic of Latvia, country located in the Baltic region of Northern Europe. We've spent here 2 days in March, exploring Riga's rich history, admiring the architecture, tasting some national drinks, and trying not to get blown by the strong wind. Are you ready for a tour, my friend?
There you go.
Thank you. There is no better place than the old town of Riga to start your first day in this beautiful city. Just after passing by the old St. Peter's Church, that we will come back to visit later, you will find yourself in the street called Skaruniela, or on German, die Scharenstraße. You probably wonder, why am I giving you the German name of the street in the capital of Latvia? Well, the first buildings in this street go far back to the beginning of the 13th century, when Germans ruled large parts of what is currently Latvia, and this street became the main place in Riga for German settlers. The German settlers who came here were knights from northern Germany and citizens of northern German towns who brought their Low German language in the region, which shaped many words in the Latvian language. Skaruniela was mostly occupied by meat shops and butcheries. After passing by another old pedestrian street called Skaruniela, you will find yourself in another old town street called Jauniela. This short 225-meter long street connects the Dome Square and the Town Hall Square, and it is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful streets in the old town of Riga. All the colorful buildings on the both sides of the street are just making it looking so picturesque and cinematic. The street is famous for several traditional restaurants and cafes, but it was also a street who inspired some movie directors. In the famous TV series The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, street acted as a London street Baker Street. We didn't manage to meet Mr. Sherlock here, but we enjoyed the walk very much. Another street that you shouldn't miss in the old town is called Rosena Street. Rosena is not only one of the shortest, but also one of the narrowest streets in Riga. If your arms are long enough, you can touch both of the walls lining the street. You may also make a stop for a beer in the beer garden or in a medieval restaurant located in the street. Since the old town of Riga is very small, and you can really not get lost, you will fast find yourself at the big Dome Square. Dome Square is the largest square in the old town. Located in the heart of Riga, the square has seen many events significant to Latvia in the past 20 years, and is itself surrounded by beautiful buildings dating from the 19th and the early 20th century. It felt incredibly windy here in the open space due to the March Nordic weather, so we were fast on our way to visit the Riga Cathedral. Riga Cathedral stands here since July 25, 1211, when the foundation stone of the cathedral was laid under the direction of Bishop Albert. For many centuries, as well as today, Riga Cathedral has been one of the main venues for concerts in Riga and throughout Latvia. It is the largest and one of the oldest sacred buildings in Latvia and the Baltic region. It combines Romanesque, early Gothic, Baroque, and Art Nouveau style. I am always impressed by so massive and beautiful buildings, and I wonder how much work, human power, imagination, and architectural knowledge was needed back then to build such an impressive work of art that after so many centuries still stands with its beauty and glory. After strolling around through the old town from early in the morning, to tell you honestly, we got frozen from the March wind and low temperatures. Although we didn't walk that much at all, since the old town of Riga is not so big, we still had to warm ourselves in some coffee shop. My advice for you would be, wait for some warmer months to visit Riga. There may be more tourists, but you will not freeze all the time. Cheers, friends! Let's continue. There's so many stunning looking buildings in Riga. This one is called Small Guild, and it is designed by architect Johan Felsko in neo-Gothic style, erected around 1860s. The building next to it is called the Great Guild, and the two guild organizations were split by economic and social interests. The large guild brought together German traders, and the small guild brought together German craftsmen. Even today, they host different activities. The Great Guild is home to the Latvian Symphony Orchestra, and its so-called smaller cousin hosts conferences and even the occasional disco. Very close to the guilds, in the street called Meistaru Jela, is where the famous cat house of Riga is located. You just cannot miss these cute black cats at the top of this splendid Art Nouveau building. And you wouldn't believe through how much trouble these two cats went through. After the owner of the building was denied to become part of Tradesman Guild membership, he got so angry he decided to revenge to them in a creative way, by ordering these two statues of black cats to be placed on his roof, with their tails facing the Tradesman Guild building. The guild was so upset about the cats, they brought the matter even to the court. In the end, the court decided that the cats would have to be turned in a different direction, and the tradesman would become a member of the guild. So much drama about the black cats. After passing by the famous Riga's Powder Tower, also called Sand Tower, which formed part of the town's fortification system, you will come across this yellow building called Jacob's Barak Building, located in Tormos Street. All the yellow barracks here were built in 18th century. They are today a home to a number of restaurants and bars. Okay, to tell you a bit more about our trip to Riga. We flew here with Ryanair from Germany, and the flight was really very affordable. Weather in March was, as I mentioned, not the best. It was windy and at some moments even snowy, but we always managed to find some cute local coffee shops to warm ourselves. We stayed in a very nice hotel in the old town, and everything was in walkable distance away. Hotels in Riga are not expensive, and you can eat and drink without spending a fortune. A few years ago, we visited Lithuania and Estonia, so Latvia was the only Baltic country we didn't have a chance to visit until today. When you leave the old town, you will come across the Riga's Monument of Freedom. The square is so big and open and located next to this park that, covered in snow and ice, looked like from some winter fairy tale. What I found amazing about the monument is that it was entirely founded by donations from residents. It is a memorial to those who fell in Latvia's struggle for independence, unveiled on November 18, 1935, as part of a sculptor Kārlis Zales project, Shine Like a Star. The 42.7-meter-high Freedom Monument symbolizes the idea of independence. Near the Monument of Freedom, you will come across the Russian Orthodox Church, also called Nativity of Christ Church, looking beautiful from inside and outside. A lot of Orthodox people are coming here to light a candle and pray. But of course, everyone is welcome. There is no entrance fee, but the photography inside is prohibited. Since we again started to freeze, we decided to go back to the old town, where the streets are narrow and it is less windy. Our next stop was the old Swedish Gate. The Swedish Gate and the old city wall are what's left of the once mighty fortification system that surrounded Riga in the Middle Ages. The Swedish Gate is the only city gate still in place and was built in 1698 by the Swedes, who ruled the city at that time. These beautiful houses are the famous Three Brothers, the oldest housing complex in Riga, all three built by descendants of the same family. The youngest one was built in the later half of the 17th century and is the tiniest of the trio. Its green facade was meant to be a mask to protect the property from evil spirits. The middle brother, the richest one, is the most eye-catching one and was built in the 17th century with the engraving above the door that says "Glory to God alone" in Latin. The first brother, inspired by Gothic and Dutch influence, was built in the late 15th century, and the house was originally used for the manufacturing and trade purposes. Next to Three Brothers, you can make a break at the coffee shop called Parunassim, where we once again warmed ourselves and enjoyed this nice decorated ambience. Okay, let's search for some more colorful buildings in the old town of Riga. And you will find them in the nearby Livu Square. Believe it or not, here was once flowing the Riga River, which was a shipping route for transporting Latvian grain up until the 16th century. Today, along the old route of the river, you can find restaurants, bars, and cafes. I can imagine it looks even more beautiful in the summer, with all the outdoor places for sitting. One more place we visited on this day was St. Peter's Church. It was built in 4209 and has the tallest church tower in Riga, with a height of 130 meters. The church is included in UNESCO World Heritage List and is very much worth visiting. St. Peter's Church is the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Latvia. And when you are done with the church, just go behind it, and you will find this interesting looking sculpture called Bremen Town Musicians, inspired by the Brothers Grimm fairy tale. The ritual says that when you visit the town musicians, you have to rub the noses of the animals, because it will bring you good luck. Another stunning museum that you have to visit while in Riga is the place called the Black Heads House. The House of the Black Heads is a venue for exhibitions, concerts, and other events, and is a landmark of Riga's old city. It was built in 1334 as a venue for meetings and banquets held by Riga's various public organizations. The building was destroyed by bombs in the Second World War, but was fully rebuilt in 1999. If you have time, go inside to discover more about the story behind this place. As the night was approaching, there was not much more time left for exploring the city, so we went towards the waterfront. After passing by the sculpture dedicated to the legend of Riga, we were amazed by the view over the Riga's Daugava River. With all the reflections in the water from the bridges and buildings, Riga got one totally new look, different from the old town that we explored the whole day. It reminded me of big European metropoles, with modern architecture design along the side of the river. And surprisingly, it was not even that windy anymore. Perfect end of the day. But you may be wondering, where did we eat the whole day? Well, what we usually do while traveling, we actually only eat once per day, mostly in the evening. So the idea was to go to eat at the Central Market of Riga. But once we arrived there, except a few stands with veggies, fruits, meat, cheese and similar, the restaurants were closed. So we took a tram and headed down to the Riga's famous Lido. Riga's Lido is actually an amusement park. But we heard that they also have a nice restaurant with the traditional food. The prices were very affordable and the choice of the food is really good. We even had the live music while having dinner. That's it, my friends. Hope you enjoyed the guided tour of Riga. Time to say goodbye. See you in the next video.
Uns Geister, Chiga,